Woohoo! All right. I'm really, really excited today to be inviting my amazing friend Charlotte Carter, who's the queen of all things energy, onto this live. And we're just going to have a chat about these beautiful, beautiful. Get her on video. Go, Charlotte. Yay!
Yay!
Beautiful human. It's so good to see you.
It is so good to see you. We have arrived. We have landed.
I'm so excited to do this together. And I was thinking about how we first met, actually, in Florida. So that might be quite a cool way to start. What do you think?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, so we were at this event called Freedom Queen in Florida, and it was quite funny because I felt from the moment the event was launched, and I didn't know much about the person launching the event, that I had to be there. And I thought I had to be there so that I could learn from the women who were already in that energy of abundance and, millions of pounds and be like them. And then when I got to the event, I absolutely hated it. It did not align with me. And I remember thinking, why am I here? There's got to be a reason that I'm here. And then how did we actually connect?
So at this event, there was like a group where you could comment and you could ask questions. And I think in that group, you could introduce yourself. And I think we introduced ourselves in there. And then I was by the pool and there was some sort of thread, wasn't there, about connect with people. And we connected. We'll have to find it when we tell this story on the stages. It was a bit like, I'm by the pool, come and see me if you want. And you're like, yeah, great, I'm going to come down. And that was it, really, wasn't it?
It was crazy. I just felt this ping. I was like, oh, I don't know anything about this woman, but I have to go find her by the pool. And then I found you.
And so that was it. That was our opening. We were both like in our swimsuits, both at an event that wasn't aligned with us. We're like, oh, this is why we're here. This is one of the reasons why we've come together.
Yes. And I think like one of the big takeaways for me was we're already that person. Like I don't know about you, but I thought, oh, I'm supposed to come here and learn to be like someone. And then watching them, it was like, oh, I've got this already, right? Like we're already attuned to it.
There was a real piece around, and I think this is really important for people who are watching this live and listening to us. You will always get what it is that you need to get when you go to these events, whatever they are.
Yeah.
And quite often it's not what you think. But I think when I got there, I was like, this is an old identity playing out for me that I still haven't let go of. So this was a version of me that thought I needed to be in rooms with lots of people to be able to find an element of growth. Whereas you and I found an element of growth like multiple times in moments while we were in Florida. That was our journey.
It's amazing how the universe can be so ironic in its approach, right? Like you go all the way to another country, to a room full of women just to realize, oh, the person who has the answers is me, not someone else. I thought that was like hugely ironic. But actually thinking about the people listening to this live as well, like the concept of it's not do something, have something so that you can feel good, right? Like people think it's if I achieve a goal and I have my goal, then I can feel happy or I can feel successful. But it's actually the opposite. It's be the person and then you'll do what you need to do to have what you want to have.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what we both do in our work, right? Like actually we haven't even introduced what we do, so let's start there.
Oh, so let's start there. Okay, so I'm a energy mentor. So I help high performers who are scaling their businesses from multi-six. They might want to be a millionaire, they might want more, but really they want to create a life that feels very much in flow. So I help them shatter energetic loops or blocks, mindset ones, nervous system ones, energy ones, so that they can really be their truest essence of themselves.
I love that. I love that. And I have actually experienced your magic because we agreed for a change that taking a break from mentorship, we would do it for each other. And it blew my mind for a good 2 weeks in terms of triggering these new identity challenges, right? Because the version of me who has my goals, I'm not that version of me. Otherwise, I would have my goals. And I don't think I've ever, Charlotte, I've never experienced such a rapid 2 week kind of boom, 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 boom from energy healing. Like you saw how I was like, I was on the floor from the the rate of the acceleration of what we did. That was
It was, and there's a real, just let people know what you do, because I before you do that, I just want to share what happens energetically when you meet somebody that's absolutely got the same values in the same space like you and I have. You everything speeds up because there's not any element of doubt or distrust or waiting to build a relationship. It's kind of magnetic from the word go. So when we said, why don't we just like have a session of each other's magic every month for the next year, that's kind of like the commitment that we made to each other. We were like, yes, bring it on. And I have absolutely been blown away by your work. And so what happened for people that are on in your world and want to know a little bit more about that, I have been like upgrading my body and my energetic body and my systems by the work that we've done, by just phrases that you've said, the sessions that we've had, so that everything has been really quite quantum-like. So I've spent way more time in the quantum. I've spent way more time in this like releasing and surrendering of the old stories, patterns, energetic pieces. And I've really like there's a coming home, but there's a real expansion. And I think we match each other with power and potency, and so I think there's a real blend of our services, you know, like if we did a retreat together, there's a real interconnection about how we help people.
Oh, that's an idea. That sounds like a fun game, as you would say.
That's a fun game. Yeah, that'd be a fun game. There's a real, we kind of like serve each other in different ways, don't we, I think?
100%. And I mean, yeah, what I do, so I'm a kinesiologist, but I founded my own modality, which is metaphysical kinesiology. Kinesiology, for those who are listening who don't know what it is a naturopathic modality for healing. And what it does is it uses muscle testing to tune into the wisdom of the body. So anything can be healed, right? Like, I don't buy that bullshit that if you have something, you're doomed forever. And equally, if you can listen to the wisdom of the body, it will tell you exactly what it needs to heal, what techniques, when. So that's what I teach. But I took it to the next level with my modality, which is metaphysical kinesiology, because none of the other schools teach or work with the quantum field or the metaphysical laws or embodiment. You know, people get so focused on just collecting techniques and modalities, but they don't get anywhere because they're not doing the identity piece. They're not doing the quantum piece. And, you know, in the world that we live in now, everything is about the quantum, right? Like, that's what it means to be cutting edge.
Exactly. That's where you hang out, and that's where all the fun is. And I think there's a real aspect of when you work with high performers and high achievers and people who want to create big impact, the logic is a real place. That's a real where they want to start, and they want to collect, like you say, collect these certifications or these achievements or this external proof. But actually, if you've not allowed yourself, and this is a big piece, and this is how we support each other, allow yourself to actually be that open vessel to receive and play in the quantum, you're not going to be able to bring all that wisdom into your work. You have to marry the two.
Oh wow, that's I love that you said that, because and in order to be an empty vessel, first you not must, but the unlearning, right? Because you're basically full of what you've been programmed with. All of us, like the first 40 years of your life, if you're lucky. Are you finding people are doing this work younger and younger? Like,
yeah,
it's amazing, right? Like when I first trained and in clinic, people were coming in older to explore their patterns and their programming, and now they're younger and younger. It's so exciting. But the idea is essentially we're full of other people, and then we want to throw all of that out, decide what it means to actually be full of us, so that we can then actually tune in to whatever we want to tune in up there.
Yeah. And I think there's a real piece. So what I'm seeing more and more is that there's a real aspect of the human and then the energetics. So my modality is high performance energetics. So I help people work out why the human is blocking them actually playing in the field of potential, which is a quantum. Because it's great to just go, yeah, I'm just going to go in there and I'm just going to play in that. But if your human hasn't got fully aligned or shifted or shedded and really remembered who the hell they are in this body, then they're not going to access it. And I think that's the frustration. People are like, yeah, I can do that. I can get there in my imagination. I can do all that. But if you're still carrying resistance and stuff and heaviness that's not even yours, you're blocking it. You're not able to access it in any way, shape or form.
I love that. Because, yeah, essentially you've got this waterfall on tap from source, and then it's all our shit that just tightens the tap, right? Like the tap is always at full force, and then we're the ones with our so the human is like limiting beliefs, isn't it? And ego and old stories, and yeah, just getting in there and just twisting the tap. I see, you know what I see a lot in clinic and my students as well, as physical manifestations of that human. Right. So I like, it's really interesting. Like for me, when I'm on the edge of doing a piece of work that's going to take me to the next level, like even today I was uploading courses onto Thinkific. Okay. And before I did it, I got tired. Like my human is like, the activation of that human or ego is exhaustion. And I thought, oh my God, I'm so tired. But now I've built that relationship, and I teach my students and my clients how to do this, where, oh, you're kicking in. That means I'm on the edge of something great. And then also, yeah, and then like identifying it, but then also having techniques, which we both do, for reducing the sound or making that human just kind of stop.
There's this great phrase that I learned from a really great manifestation mentor. Yeah. And she says, step aside, human. And I just think it's really good, because you allow yourself when you're in those. So I had it this morning. Tech was doing my head in. I was trying to go live on LinkedIn. I couldn't work it out. I was like, toys out the pram. It was like my human was not happy about the experience. I just wanted to come live with you. That was what my human wanted to do. Yes. And I had to say, look, like, get a grip, move aside, human. This is like a big part of you being able to reach people, and this is a big part of you being able to really allow your impact and your message to get to those people. So just like, understand it. But yeah, the old me or the old identity would have then got frustrated, would have then jumped quite quickly to, well, my energy is saying I'm not meant to be doing this, so I'm just going to change and do something else. When actually it's that sweet spot of knowing when your energy really is directing you and this really isn't serving you, and knowing when your human is just like, this is really annoying and it's not really your bag and it doesn't light you up, and all of those kind of things. I think there's a real sweet spot.
And this is where we all need a little bit of help, right? Like, I find it really easy to do this for everyone who walks into my life, but sometimes I need someone to just point it out to me or reflect it back to me, which is what we can actually do for each other, right? Because ultimately the wisdom is within. Like this idea that you need, like I have a coach, and I've been in many coaching containers and loads of qualifications and all that, but really all we're tuning into is what's within me. It's never even about the other person. And it's the same with you, right?
Yeah, I think this is the piece that we have, and just like the divine timing was just like so beautiful for both of us, because it was a real, like, we weren't there searching for mirrors of people to help us in a real, like, I've got you, let's stand side by side and let's really like empower each other. We weren't seeking that. We were in a space, both of us, thinking that there was a reason we were there but not quite knowing it. And I think there's this my journey and what that event taught me, and it's been really profound, is the identity is what always leads you. And this belonging piece, why people go into different spaces or with mentors, is there's some part of them, some part of their identity that still wants this belonging and feels that actually if they're in this space where they're investing in somebody who's going to support them, then they create this belonging. But there's a real identity shift that you and I are in, I believe, where we know that that belonging thread is all just about your inner circle. So that's your people that you meet throughout life. You and I met just by, some people would say by chance, some people say it's divine timing, all of those things. However it was, I took an action to say, here I am by the pool. You took an action to come. We both took aligned action and waited for the other one. And then, like, the rest is history, shall we say. But there's a real piece of when you are thinking you have to, or this is what I'm noticing in my own journey, is you've got to think like the person who has it rather than the person in today. That is so important.
And the hardest part to program initially, right? Because when you say, okay, what does this, how does this version of me talk? How does this version of me eat? What does this version of me do? Sometimes it's instant. Like, okay, yes, in my case, Sadia, she does eat 7 to 10 portions of vegetables a day. Like, it's non-negotiable, right? But equally, sometimes you sit there and you go, I don't know how she would speak necessarily. You know, I don't necessarily know what she wants to say. And it takes a while kind of to activate that, the transmitter in here that connects to that version of you, or upgrade it.
Exactly. And it's the classic of, I was talking with some clients yesterday about this, it's the classic of, you never know until you start and then you build your momentum. But if you're trying to think your way there, it's not going to happen. So a classic one for me, because I'm a personal trainer and I'm a breathwork facilitator, so there's a lot that I do around like feeling healthy in a physical self from movement. And so there's a real piece of actually, okay, if I'm bringing that in, I've really got to embody like the healthiest, most toned, most physical vessel I can create. And the human was still blocking this because the human was, so I know that's the future self, my human. And this was really interesting. This happened in Florida, a real piece of shedding, because there was a piece of, well, if I actually nail that, my human was like, well, there's going to be people that are like, well, it's all right for her. Look how slim she is. Look how toned she is. There's all these limiting beliefs and judgment and belonging threads that, you know, were never ever going to serve me, but they were protecting me.
Yes.
And when I start thinking like, you know, the millionaire version or the person who I really want to be, she didn't carry any of that stuff. She's just doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'll just do it. And then I'll work out once I'm doing it, because I know, and this is a really good thing for people who are listening to think about, work out what you lead with. So I know I lead with movement. I know it's my most energetic place. It's like I always activate my strongest potent energy there. So I know it is. So now I'm going to the gym all the time. Now I'm like on fire. That's my activation. And I always say there's 4 different types of activations people can have if they come from positive psychology, which is the science of happiness and well-being. One of them is movement, so that's mine. Absolutely moving your body. Like, I'm like, if you see me on stage, I walk across the stage. People are like, can you stand still? I'm like, no, I'm activating. The next one is about nutrition. So how are you fueling your body with the nutrients that you're putting in? So is that what really activates you? The next one is about sleep. So which part, are you the one that absolutely prioritizes your sleep and then you are on fire? And the 4th one, which is the hardest one for people, is rest and restoration. So are you someone that knows when you are restoring yourself, whatever that is, you're going to be your most magnetic?
I love that. I love that. And, you know, like, I would even add to that. Well, with my students and with my clients, my big one is, how are you going to get your head on straight energetically for the day? Because, you know, at the diploma level, because I teach practitioners who've most of them have already trained, right? They've already trained. They want to take their practice to the next level, or they're finding issues are not going away, and there's this frustration and imposter syndrome and all that. And it's really interesting because when we do our one-to-one coaching, it's not about the techniques.
Yeah.
It's not even about the clients. It's never about that. It's about their own mindset and what they're projecting onto their business. Like 90% of my one-to-one coaching, 99% of it is that how are you going to get yourself into that right headspace in the day, whether it's 5 minutes of affirmation, whether it's a short meditation, is it a visualization? And then how are you going to practice that in your head throughout the day, even if it's just 5 minutes 3 times a day?
Yeah.
You know, just to, again, reinforce that new version of you and the almost like the neural networks that are coming in from that new person. And I just think, I feel like it's such an under-taught thing. I wish they taught it at schools. I mean, selfishly, I also wish they would teach it at all naturopathic academies like we do, but everybody needs to know this. And I hate using the word need because it, you know, it's a little bit like, oh, you need to do this, which is, that's never the thing. But yeah, imagine if those 5 things were taught to like every kid at school.
Oh, I know. And it's really interesting for me because the way that my business evolved took myself through all of these paths. So the business first started and I was full on mindset. I was that mindset coach and everything was about hypnotherapy and everything was about reprogramming subconscious beliefs, and it was all purely mind.
Yeah.
And then I earned a load of money and I couldn't keep it, and I was like, okay, what's this piece? And then it was all nervous system. It was all, I don't feel safe to success. So then that started the mind body piece, and that was before I did the energy. And then the energy, and it's so interesting because last night I had a session with a client and we did a hypnosis because I'm like, she's done 8 months energy with me, and like, we need to get your mind now at the same capacity that your energy is. And this is the dance that I think that I have, and the dance that I have when I'm sort of like radiating out to the world is, which comes first?
Yeah.
Come on, Sally, which comes first? What do you believe comes first?
Well, for me, right, it's really interesting because we muscle test. So muscle test, I mean, I also, you know, hugely intuitive and psychically download. So often I just kind of will be with the client or the student and it just drops in. But until that intuition is refined, we can muscle test because the path is different for each person. You know, like one person's body is going to be like, no, I need to move first. I need supplementation. Or someone else's body will say, no, I need to get the, you know, like you did, the hypnosis right. I need the subconscious pruning. And like the beauty of kinesiology is you don't have to guess because that path is going to be unique. And if we standardize it, which so many, you know, practitioners and programs do, because you kind of have to, I guess, you miss that nuance, which makes it really easy and effortless for the person. Right? If we can just tune into that blueprint, like every human has a blueprint for their best health, their highest energy, the love they seek, whatever, the mansion in Hawaii, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But the fastest, easiest route to whatever that goal is in them. And as soon as we can just tune into that, boom, it gets to be so easy.
Well, I think that's the piece. I think that is exactly the piece. The humans are programmed for things to be hard.
Yes.
So there's a real piece with every single one of my clients, and you will have seen this as well. Can it get to be this easy?
Yes.
Can it actually be this easy? And can it be this quick? And can it actually feel this fun? And like we all, you know, can it be such a good game to play? All of these things. Can I do it again and again? And all of those. And that's all a part of identity. It's all a part of, and I say to people, you know, how good do you want it to get? How good do you really want it to get?
And are you willing to let it? Right?
Yeah. If you're blocking it or your body's blocking it or whatever, but there's such a piece for so many people around permission. Anybody that's watching this, I'm giving you full permission to let it get, as good as you really want it to, and just let it get better.
Easy and effortless.
Easy and effortless.
And also, if you screw it up when it gets easy and effortless, that's perfectly normal. I mean, we all do it, right? Like, I had a one-to-one with my, excuse me, one of my diploma students who not nailed, but yes, working with a really difficult client, really difficult, really unwell client. And then she had such great results that she just, and I always treat this with lightness, like fucked it up. She had to flip it around because she couldn't sit with how great the result was. And it came in as what am I doing wrong? And it had nothing to do with what she was doing wrong. It's just that she couldn't hold the capacity for the results. And that comes up all the time. So equally, anyone else on the call, if you're going to make it easy and effortless and then fuck it up, that's okay. You can just reset again.
And there's a real piece. This is, I call this the hokey cokey. So when things that you're actually want to attract in, it's like the hokey cokey. So when things that you want to attract in, you've actually then got them. You're like, hey, do you know what? I'd really like this, this, and this. Oh, shit, I've got this, this, and this. Okay, what do I do now? Okay, and this, like, I dance back in and out of certainty and trust and energetic allowing, because the body, the energy, and the mind hasn't stepped into that identity. Whereas when we are forever tuning in and programming our subconscious mind super small with beliefs, success is safe, first of all, because some people have that. Success is safe. And then I am a vessel of abundance, whatever it is. When you're forever absolutely in that energy and your mind believes it, then this sort of hokey cokey gets less and less and less. And you start like playing and dancing with it and saying humans stop hokey cokeying and that kind of thing.
I love that hokey cokey. I'm totally going to steal it, because we want to create lightness around these relapses and regressions, and because the one thing I find that people do to make it worse is load it with meaning, right? So like, I overspent again this month, or I didn't have any clients this month, and then they make it worse by looping and feeling the negative emotions. And if we can just get them back to this place of lightness with it, like, it's okay, like, so what? Right? Like, just like you did with hokey cokey. Yeah, it's so powerful.
It's like, I always say to people, try and invite yourself to come back to neutrality. So when you're in neutrality, you're not buzzing about how great it's been, or you're not shaming yourself about why it's not worked as what you've just got yourself back to neutrality, and then you can get yourself high again. So there's a real piece of allowing yourself, and this is a fine art. You and I aren't talking because we nail this every day. We're really not. We're talking because we have the tools to be able to bring ourselves back quicker than maybe other people, for certain, and that's how we can teach. But you're never going to get to a place where this is a tick and you've done it. And this 100%. Is the biggest thing for high performers, because they want to get to that place. How can I refine? How can I refine? How can I refine? You can refine by knowing and allowing yourself to really mess up, and allow yourself to hold yourself and laugh yourself through it and move yourself at speed. That's one of the biggest challenges for people.
100%. It's that switch back, isn't it? Like, how quickly can you switch back, come back when the hokey cokey activates?
Yeah, when you've moved out of your hokey cokey, you brought yourself back.
Exactly. And like, I think that was, quite one of the things we did at my academy, and actually my new coaching program. I haven't launched it, but it's coming, which is also like high performing women and feminine energetics. But the big thing is, with the way the patriarchy worked, it just screwed men and women up, right? Both in different ways, like the over hustling and the over productivity and all that shit. It's that even Novak Djokovic, like, I heard this thing with him recently where, I mean, I'll summarize because I can't remember his exact words, but he reckons he's one of the most anxious, negative people in the world. Like, if people actually went inside his head, they'd be shocked. Mm-hmm. But it's just that he has trained himself to just go, oh, there it is. oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And it's just that. And it was really interesting because, you know, in kinesiology, we do a lot of emotional work, like a lot of attachment theory and trauma release and a lot of freeing memory from cells. But what a lot of practitioners seem to do is they focus on the issue, which is actually giving it so much more energy and literally manifesting more of it, when really all we want is enough to understand what happened, to validate the space and the pain and the suffering, and then get the hell out of there. Right? With what, like, and we have so many techniques to do that, to just stop that visceral response and like shift away from it. But it's this real, actually, if we have a problem, the last thing we want to do is focus on it.
Yeah, this is something that I'd like to share in a minute about your programs that are coming soon, because I want people to hear a little taster about them.
No, I'm not ready, but okay, I'll think
only just or next time we do it. But that was a stretch for you. There's a piece around understanding that when we are, hang on a minute, I've got a load of guidance coming in now about your things. Let me just ground myself again.
Close it off.
Where was I going? Oh yeah. This, I know where I was going now. This is a classic example. So I manifested a ticket to go and see Abraham Hicks. This is a whole story in itself, but I won't share that here. There was, and I remember sitting there, and before Esther went into Abraham, she was talking about certain things. She said, this is a classic that I see people doing, and it's around self-worth. So people then want to feel more worthy, and then there's 1,000,001 books around feeling more worthy, and all that does is get you to explore feeling that you don't feel worthy, and so it activates that. And this is a classic example. And she's like, why do people do that? Why, you're born worthy. Let's just allow your body to remember you're born worthy, and let's just move on. So let's look at and shed anything that's there. And I remember hearing that in that way. I was like, that is so true. So all of the books that point to something that you don't want, they're just all activating what you don't want.
Absolutely. And I feel like that's the key shift needed in our industries, whether that's coaching or practitioner training or one-to-one, whatever, it's all about that. That is basically, to me, the missing link now for how can you move faster and with precision and make it easy and effortless. Like, to me, that's how everything I do sits on that now. And some people don't like it, right? Like, I've plenty of probably, I would say, the more wounded feminine archetype, or sometimes more the wounded masculine, where it's actually you're still addicted to the pain of this. And we all are. We all have like addictions to patterns, right? Like that are not because we like pain, but because they're familiar. And that conversation is actually, you're probably not going to like working with me because I don't want to spend that much time. Of course, I'm going to validate your pain and work through whatever happened. But then the goal is to take you where you want to go, not to keep you here. And if they're more stuck there, then let's go to talking therapy, and unravel it there. But here we want to do that and move.
That's the piece. And this is the piece that we do for each other, isn't it? This piece where, like, okay, here's an hour. We're both like on how much can we get out of this hour? How fast can we move? How much of this hour can we spend in the quantum? That's what we're always about. Yeah. How can we release so that we get more clarity, more space, more opportunity to really like play in that potential field and create what it is our next step, our next pieces. That's what we're here for. We're so focused in that, and we always achieve that. But I think if your human is still carrying, can I do this? Am I worthy? If still carrying self-doubt, you go into sessions with people who can really support you, but your resistance takes up a lot of the session. So the sooner we can allowing is the really thing that's coming up for my clients, allow ourselves to release this resistance, then we step into it, and it's just like fun all the way.
Yes, because again, it gets to be light, right? It gets to be easy. 100%.
It gets to
100%.
be fun, light, and easy. So let's see what this stretches for you. Talk to me about your feminine energetics program.
It's not a stretch at all. It's just not in line with my my social
Oh,
what's it called?
don't say it then. Don't say it then.
No, but now I'm all excited, and now I'm like, oh fine, just tell them. Which, like, I can hear my coach going, Sadia, focus. But you know, part of our success is doing irrational things, right? Like the female
And
intuition.
getting in your future identity. Your future identity would be
100%.
like, this is coming, I'm going to give you a teaser, this is coming.
100%. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Ooh,
This is it. This is your invitation.
Well, so the Feminine Energetics program is a group program that explores how women are better at using energy to manifest. And also, like, we're going to use some goddess archetypes, but essentially to get into this conversation around the expression of femininity and using that to maximize playing with the quantum and also attachment dynamics. So how that's turning up in all our relationships and where the human is acting up, but essentially how to create what you want on demand really easily when you're used to hustling and working your ass off. Yeah. Don't need to do that anymore. Okay. I know.
I mean, that's so exciting, isn't it?
I'm so excited, so excited. And then the one-to-one, I'm bringing back one-to-ones because I've limited them because I've been so busy teaching. But these one-to-ones I'm only doing for like ultra high-performing females, where, you know, it's as simple as, like, I had one this week where someone said to me, I don't want to work with this. Should I be working with this coach, right? And we had this whole conversation around it. And I just went, no. But it's for the, you know, the caliber of female who is, or male, who's able to say, I'm cool with that. So, yeah. You know, you just delivered news that's going to completely change my landscape, but that's what I'm looking for so that I can move faster. So definitely more on the other side of much more comfortable with, you know, direct messages around if you really want transparency around how you're going to get to your next level, we'll get you there, but we'll get you there in quite a direct way, right? So yeah, both are so exciting.
I love it. So yeah, there's definitely a watch this space for that.
Yes. Isn't there? And your turn.
My turn. So I well, let's just go wild and big and out there, because that's what you've just done. So my book is coming out. I will be writing that, and my book will be out. That will be epic, and people will learn a lot more about multiple things in that book. My YouTube is like taking off. It's really blowing up. So that's really exciting. But my main real focus for this year and for my identity is streamline business. So 2 options: you work with me one-to-one, or you work with me in a group. My group program is called Millionaire Energy. Ooh. You come into it, men or women, come into it 6 months, or you can be 12 months, and you absolutely blow up mindset, nervous system, and energy. Absolutely where you want to go. If you want to go to 1 million, then I'll take you there. If you want to go past it, if you want to go to 5K months, I'll take you there. None of that. What the criteria for that program is, you have to have a business and you have to know where you're going strategically. So you have to know where you're going. We're working on the human and the energy.
It's and then one-to-one. Yeah.
And then one-to-one is tends to be the millionaires that I work with. So they're like the millionaires or billionaires, or the people that have got everything else in flow, and they're like, do you know what, there's something that is for my next evolution, and I don't know what it is. And that's more quantum downloads and energetics that just blow people's mind. That's more of that stuff.
I love it. I'm getting the energetic butterflies over here. That's amazing, because it's really so enlightening working with millionaires and billionaires. I mean, I haven't worked with that many billionaires, but I have worked with plenty of millionaires, and I think it'd be quite useful for the audience to hear what is different in their mindsets. You know, lots of people say to me, well, you know, so different about them, and I there is a lot different about them. right? The consistent ones. Like one of my favorite kind of learnings from observing them and working with them as well, and I'm really interested in yours because we can share that, is this kind of simplification and automation of like decision fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm not thinking about what I'm eating. There's either a food service or someone else is handling that. I'm not thinking about what my how to invest every loose bit of money I get. It's all, I have an investment strategy and it's directed, like everything, even how they eat in the few billion, I mean, I've only met 1 or 2 billionaires, but, and they take it to even the next level with their diet, like, there's nothing that's going to cause unwanted adrenaline or a bit of a surge at the wrong time. It's so interesting because those are things that we can all do too.
This is the piece. I think this is the piece from why I'm kind of like the simplicity is everything's millionaire energy now, because the humans and the people have this perception of what people are going to be like when they're a millionaire. And I've worked with many, had many as clients and invested in many, and they're still the people. But this is what they've absolutely nailed in my experience and my observation of working very, very closely with them, but also being in their energy. They've nailed an absolute incredible relationship with money.
Yes.
So they have no resistance to receiving overflow. They've got their nervous system ready to receive it. The quicker it is, the better, the more of it. So they're full on, and that is a belief pattern, a nervous system pattern, and an energy pattern, and they hold it. So they create this millions and then keep creating this millions. So they have their vessels of their mind, their body, and their energy absolutely on point. That's the main difference. That's the one main difference.
I love that.
That's what's got them into that space. The other things, like the millionaires that I've worked with who come to work with me, the stuff that we work on is the same as somebody that's at 6 figures.
Yeah, same shit, right?
Yes. So it's just that they have nailed. And so what I've learned massively, because hands up, I'm not a millionaire yet, but I'm going there. What I've learned from these people is when you allow yourself to look through the lens like that, the work is always about the money, but how I teach it is it's never about the money. So it's like, what are you making the money mean about you when you have a great month, and then you let it go? What are you making it mean about you? Let's dive in. And that's what Millionaire Energy as a program is all about. What are the pieces that are coming up? Are they in your human? Are they in your body? Are they in your cells? Where are they? Because if we clean them up, then you're going to just make the millions because you've already got your strategy.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Oh, Charlotte.
We could talk for hours, couldn't we?
We could. Please stop.
We must stop. We'll play this game again.
I love our chats. And that's why when the idea of sharing this with people, it lights me up. Being with you lights me up, and sharing our work lights me up. And thank you so much.
Thank you. We have this. This is another takeaway for people where in relationships and finding, their tribe. I think there's a piece where your energy. Well, I believe your energy speaks before you do. But when you're not searching or seeking, and you've cleaned up that energy in your being, then the most beautiful people come into your world. And we were both in that place at that time and at that space amongst hundreds and hundreds of women. We were both in that place where we're like, hey, do you know what, these to be honest, there were 500 women there, and there was us and somebody else who were kind of like had found our tribe. That was it. We hadn't found 100 people and us. We just found ourselves and somebody else, and that was kind of, that was our outcome. That was our completion of that place. So I think there's a real invitation. I think that's what you and I have brought out in each other, this real acceptance that we then get to experience a real depth and a real deep love, admiration and respect for each other, that then just carries us and carries our world. And there's never anything other than just like devotion to each other and the path that we're on.
100%. Oh, Charlotte, that was like the most beautiful sum up. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's definitely do this again, because I can feel it. I can feel so much more for us to share.
There is. Let's play this game again.
I'd love that. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and see you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.